Welcome to Kitchen Extra, and today we're going to be making the best ever creamy jalapeno chunky sauce. Let's get into it. Welcome back, thanks for joining me. Sorry it's been so long since my last vid, but today we're going to be making my favourite jalapeno sauce. I love my hot sauces these days, so I've decided to find a recipe. I've tweaked it a bit to make it really easy, and I really recommend you make this. It's so easy. Ingredients, simple. 8 jalapenos, fresh ones, 1 red onion, 120 ml of vegetable oil, 4 garlic cloves, half a lime and a pinch of salt. Out of this world jalapenos not only are one of the best sources of vitamin C, help lower blood pressure, fight your migraines and headaches, and help you lose weight, they were also the first pepper that travelled into space on a NASA shuttle. So let's get into it. So I'm just going to chop off the tops of these jalapenos. Let's cut into this bag. I got these from Waitrose. It's the first supermarket that I've found that actually have them, but you'll probably find them in your supermarket. Jalapenos aren't that strong actually. They're quite a mild, medium chili. They've got 2,500 to 10,000 Scoville units in general. I'm going to leave the seeds in here. Trust me, it's not going to be too hot. We're going to boil these with the onions first, just for a little bit. That'll take a tiny bit of the sting out, but honestly, you won't find this too hot at all. You can use it with pretty much everything. So slicing the tops off here. I'm going to start on the onion now, and just thinly slice this. It doesn't really matter. It's going to get blended up anyway. Well, we're going to put it in the food mixer as well. So it doesn't really matter, just slice this onion up and we're going to chuck that in the saucepan. Red onions I'm using here. You could use white. I really do recommend like a red onion. Maybe a sweet white onion would be just as good if that's all you've got in the cupboards. That's no problem at all. So chuck those in a pot. I've sped this up here just to save time here. Chucking my 8 jalapenos in with the seeds, of course, as I said. Chucking the onions in. Simple as this really. Medium heat, bring that up to the boil. Might take 5 to 8 minutes, and when it gets to a really nice boiling consistency where it's just starting to bubble away, you'll see the jalapenos are slightly losing their dark green. Don't worry about that, it's still going to have plenty of flavour and punch in that, but you don't want to boil them too long. I have seen some recipes and they boil them for like 15 minutes until they go really light green, but I did try that and it takes a lot of the flavour away, the freshness away, and trust me, this smells amazing. So we're just going to pour this now. We're going to sieve this water. Now you can use this water, keep it to thin the sauce if you find it a little bit thick at the end. I've never actually found it too thick because I like it chunky and it really works for me, so I've never really used the water, but they do say keep the water. Now big garlic cloves, these I've got these ones again from Waitrose. They come on like I don't know, like a stick. I don't really know how to describe it, but they're like really big, nice garlic cloves. But any garlic cloves will be fine. I'm going to chuck that into my food mixer. I did try this with a blender once, and it came out really smooth. So if you're looking for a really smooth, almost like hot sauce, then I would recommend doing this with a blender, and maybe even just put a bit of vinegar in as well, because that's what a lot of hot sauces have, that base. They have that vinegary base. But here, literally simple as this: garlic, the jalapenos and the red onions, and I'm going to whisk these up. Probably only needs a minute or so, to be honest with you. So I'm going to chop it all up together, and again, trust me with this, I cannot emphasize it enough, it smells amazing. It really does smell fresh, nice. We're chopping this up, and as you can see, it's just like, it's quite fine right now, but it's not too fine. And what we're going to do is add in some salt and oil and some lime juice, and what the oil is really going to do, it's going to help emulsify and make it creamy, a bit like how you make a mayonnaise. But this is kind of the consistency you're looking for. As you can see, I'm going to chuck in some salt here, any salt really. I'm using salt flakes, they seem to work really well for me. A couple of pinches I've put in here, and I'm going to put in the oil now. This is vegetable oil. You can use like corn oil, sunflower oil, any kind of neutral oil will do. You could use olive oil, but I find olive oils tend to be a bit heavy, especially if I don't know if you've made like a guacamole or a mayonnaise before, but with olive oil they really do make it like quite a strong, heavy taste. So I find a neutral oil much better. In goes half a lime here. I've rolled it first. You just missed that bit, but roll in the lime there. Just it loosens up the juice inside, makes it easier to squeeze in. is really good for giving sauces a nice balance, especially when you've got something quite sweet in there, as in the red onions, and something quite hot as the chili as well. And it just really freshens everything up and keeps it lasting longer. Look how creamy this is going. This is because it's the oil is getting emulsified with everything there. It's really creaming up, a bit like how you would make a mayonnaise. You can add it in slowly, but I've found it really doesn't make much of a difference in this sauce. I just bang it all straight into the food mixer and give it a whiz. Maybe a minute, 2 minutes. Go around the sides, make sure you get everything chopped up nicely. So this is quite warm, this sauce, at the moment. So before we put it in our bottle, we will wait for it to cool a little bit. But look, let me just show you the texture we're looking for. It's really chunky. I have this on everything, almost. It just goes so well. One thing I have found, if you're trying to be healthy as well, you put this on a boring old rice cake, it makes it incredible, like the best rice cake you've ever tasted. Look at it, look how good this is. It's really nice and thick. If you wanted it thinner, put it in a food blender and it will go like, honestly, it will go like a very, very smooth sauce. So I've sterilized this bottle. I just used boiling hot water. But that's it. Jar this up. It'll last about 2 weeks, easy, but you'll probably finish it within a few days. It's that good. It's the best ever creamy jalapeno sauce. And thank you for joining me, and I'll see you again soon on Kitchen Extra.